At first it did not look like a crime scene. There was no broken window, no spray paint on marble, no toppled statue, just a patch of grass on the National Mall, turning brown in a shape that only made sense from above. 4 numbers, 8, 6, 4, 7, or depending on how you read it, 2 numbers with a space between them. 86, 47. On June 11, 2026, U.S. Park Police responded to the mall after those numbers appeared in the grass near the Washington Monument and the World War II Memorial. From ground level, reports said the marking was not especially easy to read. It was not a sign held up in a crowd. It was not a banner. It was not even written for pedestrians. It was written for altitude, for cameras, for live webcams, for the top of the Washington Monument, for the version of America that is always being watched from above. That is why this story feels different from ordinary vandalism. Because the object was not just the grass. The object was the photograph. The first images showed brown numbers against green lawn. The 8 and the 7 were clear. The 6 was fainter. The 4 was barely there, almost unfinished, like the message had appeared before it was ready. Reuters described the arrangement as clearly trying to show 8647, though the 4 was not fully formed. NBC4 reported that Park Police responded around 11:30 in the morning, and that the marking was large enough to be photographed from the top of the Washington Monument. ABC News reported that Earthcam images showed the numbers on the lawn since at least Wednesday afternoon. WTOP, carrying CNN reporting, said live webcam images from the Washington Monument showed the numbers appearing as dead grass along a large portion of the mall east of the World War II Memorial. And then came the part that made the story spread. Officials did not yet know what caused the discoloration. The grass samples were collected for testing. Not paint, not chalk, not a banner, grass. Something had changed the surface of the National Mall itself. And until those tests came back, the method remained open. That small uncertainty gave the whole thing its charge. Was it cut into the grass? Was it treated? Was it burned? Was it simply a slow chemical discoloration timed to appear over days? The public reporting does not answer that. And that is important. Because the mystery of this story is not only who did it. It is why a message would be designed to bloom slowly in the grass, become legible from a monument, and enter the news cycle as an aerial image. To understand the reaction, you have to understand the number. In American restaurant slang, to 86 something means to remove it, cancel it, get rid of it. 47 refers to Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States. Put together, 8647 has become a contested political phrase. Some people use it as protest language. Federal officials and Trump administration figures have treated it as potentially threatening. That conflict is the whole story. Because a number can be ordinary until a government decides it is not. It can be a slogan until a prosecutor calls it something else. It can be a joke in one mouth, a threat in another, and evidence in a third. The phrase had already become nationally charged before it appeared on the mall. Former FBI Director James Comey had drawn attention after posting a photo of seashells arranged to read 8647. He denied wanting violence against the president. But the incident became part of a larger fight over whether the phrase was political speech or a threat. So when those same digits appeared in the grass near the symbolic center of Washington, the reaction was immediate. The Department of the Interior called it vandalism and said threats against the president are taken seriously. The Secret Service and FBI deferred public questions to the U.S. Park Police, according to CNN reporting carried by WTOP. National Park Service workers were seen roping off the area. National Guard members appeared nearby, directing people away from the grass, according to ABC News. And all of this happened in a week when Washington was already preparing for major public events. That is the second reason the marking mattered. Location. The National Mall is not just open space. It is the stage where the country performs memory. The Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial, the long open lawn where crowds gather, protest, celebrate, mourn, and pose for history. If you write something there, you are not just writing on grass. You are writing on a national backdrop. And if you write it large enough to be seen from above, you are not speaking to the person walking past. You are speaking to the archive. The image becomes the event. That is what makes 8647 feel modern. The physical act may have happened on the ground, but the real audience was never on the ground. The real audience was the camera stationed above it, the news helicopter, the live stream, the social feed. The people who would see them all flattened into a map and read the message like a symbol. In older political vandalism, the message was usually built for the wall. Spray paint on stone, a sign on a fence, a banner over a bridge. This was built for surveillance. It was not a mark you discovered by standing in front of it. It was a mark you discovered by looking down. That changes the meaning, because a ground-level message asks to be read. An aerial message asks to be discovered. And discovery makes the viewer feel like they found evidence. That is why the details matter. The unclear for, the grass samples, the question of when the numbers first appeared. The fact that Getty images from June 5th reportedly did not show the marking. The fact that EarthCam footage suggested the numbers emerged over time. All of it turns a piece of grass into a timeline. Not just what happened. When did it begin? Who noticed it first? Was it intended to peak on a particular day? Was the message finished or interrupted? Was the incomplete for an accident, a clue, or just the natural way grass changes color? Right now, the official answer is simple. The investigation is ongoing. The cause has not been determined. Samples were taken. No publicly identified suspect. But the public answer is never that simple. Because once a symbol leaves the ground and enters the feed, everyone starts finishing the story for themselves. One side sees a threat, another side sees protest, another sees a publicity stunt, another sees the absurdity of a country arguing over 4 numbers in a lawn. And maybe that was the point, not to deliver one clear message, but to create a symbol unstable enough that everyone would argue about what it meant. The strongest political symbols are often not the ones that explain themselves. They are the ones that force people to reveal how they read. 8647 did that. It turned the National Mall into a test pattern, aerial image or threat, vandalism or speech, evidence or provocation, grass damage or national security event. The same 4 digits read 4 different ways. That is why the story will probably outlive the grass. The lawn can be repaired, the brown marks can fade, the samples can come back with a technical explanation. But the photograph has already done what it was built to do. It made the country look down at its own ceremonial lawn and ask why a message in grass felt dangerous. Maybe the answer is the number. Maybe the answer is the place. Maybe the answer is the timing. Or maybe the answer is simpler. In 2026, a symbol does not need to be carved in stone to become permanent. Sometimes it only has to appear for a few hours, in the right place, at the right height, under the right camera. The grass will grow back. The number is already arched.